but it's okay to weaponize against me and my husband. The rules can't change because it's social media. The line is always moving.
Now, before you look at me like that and give me the side eye and get on me in the comments, don't, all right? I'm gonna make this worth your while. Yes, I am on a hiatus from Potomac right now. I'm not pleased with what I'm seeing, heavily disappointed, but I had to jump on here and discuss this Essence article and give you guys my thoughts about the season and what I think can be done to make Potomac great again. I think that is such a travesty that Potomac used to be an amazing franchise. Seasons 3 and 4, those were their peak seasons. Candace had just joined the show. The shade was good. I mean, the drama was just right. It wasn't too heavy. It wasn't too much. I mean, the girls would get into it. Then they would forgive each other and make up. And then season 5, that's when everything hit the fan and things took a downward spiral. And this show has never been the same since then. Potomac is officially in their flop era. There's no way to say it. And I loved how the article pointed out that it seems like Potomac and production brought NECA on to quiet all the claims about there being colorism on this cast. And it definitely does feel like it was strategic on Bravo's part and with certain cast members to say, oh no, we're not colorist. Of course we're inclusive because NECA is dark-skinned and she's Nigerian and we like her. So surely we can't be colorist. But a lot of us can see right through this because NECA comes on and immediately goes after Wendy. And before you get upset with me, I did go back and I watched these last 2 episodes, episode 9 and episode 8. And it's apparent that NECA came in with an agenda to align herself with certain people on this cast and to do their bidding and to run Wendy off this show. It's clear as day. And I'm not buying this, oh yeah, you know, well obviously that's not us because we're friends with her. She's a pawn. And they think that we're stupid and we can't see that. Now, before anybody gets upset with me saying, oh my gosh, why do you have to bring up colorism? I'm so tired of you saying that. Then this might not be the video for you. And I would advise you to click off and just X out and watch another video of mine or watch somebody else. But over here, we talk about all of it. And I have been talking about the colorism on this show since season 5. So yeah, I've been saying this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, okay? But in episode 8, they're still in Austin and they have that final dinner for Karen's birthday. And Robin and Candace get into it. And Candace says it feels like the line is always moving. And this Essence article did a great job of calling out the double standards. Because why is it okay for certain people to do certain things, but when Candace and Wendy do or say something, then it's a problem? Case in point, the way everybody in this group rightfully stood around Candace and supported her when the whole thing went down with Monique and Candace. I was on Candace's side, as you know, but they all rallied around Candace and they said that violence is wrong and they wanted Monique off the show. But then we see in season 6 and 7 that that's not the case. When it comes to violence in this group, it just matters about who it is. Because if they don't like you, then the violence is justified. Case in point, season 6. Do you remember when Mia and Candace got into it? Candace brought up Mia's mom and they threw the lettuce at each other. And you had Gizelle saying at the reunion, well, Candace, with your mouth, somebody popped you in the mouth, I wouldn't be upset. But Gizelle in season 5, you were saying that violence is wrong and it doesn't matter and that Black women shouldn't handle themselves that way and that it's a disgrace. But now in season 6, you don't really care for Candace that much, so now you want to side with Mia and say, well, girl, if she did pop you in the mouth, you would have deserved it. But I thought that violence was wrong. Then we see last season when Mia assaulted Wendy in Miami. She threw the drink at Wendy and then hit Wendy over the head with her clutch. And at the reunion, when Andy asked everybody, well, why didn't you guys scold Mia for assaulting Wendy? And what did Gizelle say? Gizelle sat there and said, because I don't like Wendy. Now, you are the same woman who in season 5, you wanted Monique off the show. You clearly stated that she was a disgrace to Black women, what she did was unacceptable, and that she had no right to put her hands on anybody. But now, in season 7, you're saying that Wendy deserved to get hit and you don't care because you don't like her? These women have very funny morals, because it should be, if violence is wrong, it's wrong across all the boards. I don't have to like you to say, well, they don't deserve what happened to them. You can still be fair, and it shows you that with this sort of cast, we can't move forward. We have changing goalposts. The line is always moving, because I can assure you that had Mia attacked Ashley, they all would have come to Ashley's aid. But because Gizelle and Robin don't like Wendy, well, now we don't care. Hey, it is what it is. I don't like her. So she got hit, not my problem. And again, I'm not saying that you have to like them, but if you claim that you're a fair person, you do have to admit that on this cast, the goalpost is always moving. And that's what makes this show so horrendous and so difficult to watch. Because you have a cast of women who clearly don't like each other. I mean, the hate just oozes out of these women's pores on the screen. You can feel it. Who wants to watch that? And say what you want, but a cast shakeup is needed. Now, I watch every single city. I always have. I love Beverly Hills, and I think that Potomac would do themselves a big favor if they took a page out of Beverly Hills' book. Because Beverly Hills this season is a 10 out of 10. The drama this season has been just right. I love the cast dynamics. They're all getting along. They're able to move past the drama. And that's because Lisa Rinna is gone. When you get rid of the main problem in the group is able to thrive. Because when Lisa Rinna was on the show, it was a clear divide in the group. It was the Fox Force 5 versus Garcelle, Crystal, and Sutton. Now, since Lisa Rinna is gone, the group is able to get along and actually be friends. We see Erica and Garcelle and Sutton talking, going out to dinner, having fun. The group is able to form new friendships, new alliances, and before, we didn't get that. They are really in their bag right now. And Potomac, y'all need to take notes. I have a few thoughts on who I feel could leave this show so that this show could thrive. Now, when it comes to a Housewives franchise, we know that Bravo loves to have an anchor, an OG, whatever you want to call them, but they love having an OG on the show. So if I had to recast this show, I would keep Karen. Karen is a fan favorite. She's an OG. She's been there since season 1, episode 1. She gets along with everybody. She's always in a neutral space. And we need somebody who's quirky, and she gives us that with the grand dame stuff. I would fire Ashley because Ashley has not given us a concrete storyline in quite some time. She has been coasting. And this whole divorce storyline, I think, is fraudulent. She's just using this to stay on this show. But I believe that her and Michael are faking and that there is no divorce. Because, girl, how are you guys still separated? But that's another story for another day. But I would get rid of Ashley because she's coasting, very toxic. She'll do anything and say anything to stay on the show and collect that check. Now, I would either demote or fire Robin. If Robin wants to stay on the show, it would be, you have to show your life and you have to talk more in depth about you and Juan's relationship. Period, point blank. Before the Gizelle lovers get angry at me, just know that I don't care. And 2, it is what it is. And you're not going to sit up here and tell me that I'm not right, because you know that I am. Whether or not you love her or not, you cannot deny that Gizelle is the Lisa Rinna of this group. And because of that, she is the reason why this group cannot move forward. Because I've noticed that when Gizelle's not in a group setting, the ladies actually do talk to each other and there's more of a flow. I believe that if Gizelle were to leave the show, that they would be able to get along and get back on track. Again, this is not about me liking or disliking anybody. It's about the truth and what would make this show better. Gizelle has made it clear that she has no intentions on making up with Wendy or Candace. And that leads me to my next point. The double standards right there. Karen has called Gizelle everything but a child of God. She said that she was a whore at Hampton University. She has a hot box, went to Sing Sing. She has said a lot of nasty things about Gizelle. But the fact that Gizelle can forgive Karen, but can't forgive Wendy and Candace, and the whole logic of it all is just twisted because Gizelle, you started with Wendy. You were the one trying to embarrass Wendy about the rumors about Eddie allegedly cheating on her and having a side baby. And Wendy got angry and checked you, as she should have. So it's just mind-boggling that you're angry at her when you're the one who started with Wendy. And then the fact that you came after Candace and her marriage, saying that Chris made you feel uncomfortable, pretty much insinuating that he was doing something very inappropriate. And we know that in these times, you have to be careful with your words. And it's just weird to me how you're playing victim to circumstances that you created. I just feel like if you're not going to show your real life, there's no real storyline. You obviously hate several of the cast members on this show. You want them off the show. You make that clear. So what's the point of you staying on when you have all this hate in your heart and you have no desire to work things out? Production is also to blame because, again, why are y'all focusing on Wendy and this silly storyline about witchcraft and shrines, which is not only xenophobic, but it's just so ignorant. And this is something that should not be talked about on a national stage. This should not be a discussion in this group, especially since only 2 out of the 8 cast members are Nigerian and everybody else is either Black, American, Caribbean, but they're not Nigerian. They have no ground to speak about this. So it's a very inappropriate argument to be had in front of anybody in the first place. And I love how Essence pointed that out. This should not be discussed. And also, you have Robin in the middle of all this mess in her marriage. Juan was caught with this woman at the hotel. Then he's caught up at the laundromat with this other woman. He lost his job. He's in the middle of this lawsuit. Those are several storylines. But instead of focusing on that, you want to focus on Wendy and NECA and this whole talk about shrines and witchcraft and Osu. Like, what are we doing here? Robin should be the focus of this season. And the fact that Robin's whole storyline has become secondary to what Wendy and NECA have going on makes absolutely no sense. And y'all know it. And again, production, I want to know, why would you think that this made sense? The minute you found out what NECA was trying to do about this whole shrine storyline, y'all should have killed that. That should have been nipped in the bud immediately. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going down that route. Let's not. Let's find something else. And I blame y'all because this is unacceptable. It almost feels like y'all want to protect certain people. Because I can tell you right now that if we heard a scandal about Chris Bassett or Eddie, y'all would have been all over it. But because it's Robin and Juan, it feels like you guys want to, gloss over it and not focus on it. That way Robin doesn't feel embarrassed. But that's not how this works. This is a reality show. We want to see your reality. Of course, we're not saying that you have to show everything, but we want to see a good 75%. And shout out to the producers who watch me. Shout out to the good folks at Bravo. I know y'all watch. Hey, I love y'all. But in all seriousness though, Potomac is not going to make it if y'all keep going down this path. Y'all are going down the wrong road, in the words of Nene Leakes. This ain't it. And I'm saying this with love because, again, Potomac used to be my favorite franchise. I mean, I've been there since season 1, episode 1. I remember the whole backstory about how Potomac was not supposed to be a franchise. They were supposed to be called the Potomac Ensemble, and it was about Jack and Jill moms. Hence why there was so much emphasis on etiquette, because it was about Jack and Jill. And you guys know the story, I've told it before, but Jack and Jill called up Bravo and said, no, we don't want our organization to be involved on Bravo, so change it to something else. And that's how you guys became the Real Housewives of Potomac. But in all seriousness though, something has got to give. I'm sick of the hypocrisy. I'm just sick of the double standards. It's not fun. In episode 8, Robin, you're screaming at the table about how Candace goes on social media to blast them. But sis, you did the same thing on your podcast. You and Gizelle were up there snickering about how you believe the rumors about Chris Bassett cheating on Candace. That's using social media to blast your castmate, is it not? So it's okay when you do it, but God forbid Candace does it, now it's a problem. And this is why I stopped watching, because my blood was boiling just watching these last 2 episodes. But as you guys can see, the Essence article definitely spurred me into getting on here and talking about Potomac. I've wanted to for quite some time because I'm exhausted. And I know that a few of you guys are still watching just out of loyalty. You're praying to see some change, but they've got to do better because this is unacceptable. It's unfair. And the viewers deserve a great show. Again, I'm really hopeful that production will take a good look at this season and how it's been a flop, and that in order for season 9 to be better, then they have to make some serious changes. And that's going to include swapping out some cast members and giving us fresh storylines and a cohesive group that actually get along and are able to work through their issues. That's it. And I say this with love because Potomac should definitely be up there as one of the greatest franchises, and they were on that road, but things quickly went off the rails after season 5. We haven't gotten that back again. We've lost the magic. We've lost the formula, and it's time to get it back. But let me know what you guys think down below. I always enjoy reading your comments and responding back. I already know it's gonna be a cute key in the comments. And yeah, what do you think Potomac could do to make things better again? I think that a lot of us are on the same page about what needs to be done. But as always, I always look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.